In 2011, a video was released by the content creator FV Disco, which showed us a fellow Minecrafter wandering through the jungle and finds a mysterious temple. Upon feeding it a gold ingot, a hidden door opens to reveal the grand spectacle of the game creator Notch. Now, this was truly an epic adventure map when it first came out, and everyone was excited and intrigued by it. Like, it was peak Minecraft cinema back in the day. Like, it was so cool. I'm 26 years old and still live with my parents, by the way. Now, this was a huge adventure map at the time, mainly because diamonds were so rare to find back in the day, and this temple just ended up giving you loads. But nevertheless, if you were an OG Minecraft player, you would have seen this adventure map more often than once. So I thought, let's go into my hardcore Minecraft world and build this thing. But I think it would just be such a cool build to have as part of my world, as sort of a history relic sort of thing, as we already built the Xbox 360 OG spawn island. Also, my parents are asking for the rent and I have nothing to show for it, so this is the best I can come up with. But we spent a good amount of time building this temple and made some friends along the way, because I don't have any in the real world, and ended up recreating one of Minecraft's most nostalgic adventure maps. So if you enjoy the video, feel free to drop us a like and hit subscribe. Now that the self-promotion is done, let's get started. First things first, we need to find a good location to start the build. Ideally need a gorge-like terrain, so these two mountains separated by water was going to be perfect. And now we needed to grab a load of terrain building materials. So let's go grab our trusty Silk Touch shovel. There she is. And we're going to go fly over to the field to collect all the grass blocks that we need for this build. But while we fly over, we need to make a quick detour to our latest build, because it has another important material that we need, and that is the stone block. So we'll just go grab a bunch of them, and then we're good to go. And this is our current base of operations. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build the actual Notch temple over on this side. But what we need to actually do is kind of get rid of all of this terrain, because it's all going to be like in the way of what we actually need to build. I've also just realized I need a beacon as well, and I forgot to bring it. So now I have to travel thousands of blocks back, and yeah, love my life. So after wasting another 10 minutes flying back and forth grabbing materials, we built our beacon ready for the collection of the dirt blocks that we needed. I've also started to notice in these new chunks the incredible natural beauty this game has to offer, with the vast grasslands of beautiful flowers and extraordinary natural wildlife.
Bruh.
Okay, to start the build off with, we have basically just built up to where the height of the nose of the actual temple build for Notch is. And this is going to basically kind of set the whole precedent of the structure of his face. And basically we're going to just build kind of like his nose section here, and then go back layer by layer and kind of build it out like that, and then kind of see what it's looking like in terms of proportion to the other side of the canyon here, because we kind of want to come out more or less around this section. Maybe just a bit centered over here. But yeah, I mean, we can always kind of edit the actual landing in which you come out to. But yeah, this is going to be kind of where we come through the actual temple doors and then see the Notch face over here. So yeah, we're going to basically go ahead now and just kind of build the face, and then yeah, we can kind of decide whether we want to proceed or maybe just re-edit it a bit in terms of proportion. So yeah, let's get to it. So as I said before, we started the build of Notch's face with his nose and mouth, as this is the furthest portion in which the build would come out into the open area. So this allows us to gauge how we terraform the rest of the temple area. My favorite part of this section is definitely the eyes, as we used frog lights to get a nice mysterious glow from them. And I think it just makes the overall build stand out just a bit more, as we are using materials that blend his head into the terrain. I'd say the hardest part was figuring out the dimensions of his head, as the reference videos don't really show that section off as much. So we just improvised a lot of it while using some useful dimension websites such as Minecraft Plots to finish off the build. Now that we've finished the actual head section of the build, the next step is to go ahead and build the mountain range behind his head on either side. So yeah, that's pretty much just laying down a load of stone and a load of dirt. So let's get to it. I would say that this part of the build was definitely the most boring and the most grindy section, as it's a lot of mining and terraforming of the mountains beside the face as well as below. So most of our time was spent on creating the outer ring of cliff faces for the surrounding area. Okay, so now what we are essentially doing is just building the bottom stage of the build. As you can see on the reference video, there's kind of like a little bit of like land over here with some sand, trees, and dirt mounds. So we're kind of just trying to recreate that at the moment to kind of give off this epic scale for the cliff behind it. Because in the reference video, it's just like a sheer cliff drop. It's not like a gradual sort of grain of cliff face like you see over here. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and basically just build this like beachfront for this section, and then we're going to go ahead and just complete the two mountain faces either side to extend them out a little bit further, and then we can get started on the other side. So yeah, let's get to it. I did try to make the terrain as accurate as possible from the reference footage, but there are some instances where we kind of had to make it up as we go, as we aren't given much to work with. But I think we did the best that we could, and all things considered, it does actually look quite nice. Okay, so I think we've done a pretty good job on either side of the mountains for now. But we're basically going to take a break because we still need to actually go over here and fill in all this terrain section, at least build it out a bit further. And that will be for both sides. But I think for now, what I kind of want to do is take a break from the side of the build and kind of focus on this end, because we kind of need to build out the temple entrance now to where we first enter and see the actual head itself. And then we also need to kind of clear some of this terrain as well to kind of match the same sort of terrain, mountainy drop that you see on this side, because in the videos it is also just another sheer drop from this section. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get to it. So we started building the balcony viewing platform that the player walks out onto when they see the Temple of Notch's face for the first time. I also had a creeper blow up our chests while streaming this portion, which is always fun. But we swiftly moved on to start the worst part of this entire experience, and that is because we have to use redstone. Now, can I just say, for the record, I absolutely hate redstone. Not because of its function, just because I have a small dumb brain and I just can't comprehend it. Now, I'm actually dreading this next part because I now have to make piston doors that open onto this balcony section. And if you don't know me, I hate doing redstone, so this is going to be epic. And like that. Okay, I think that works. God, I hate redstone. Alright, and I just need to basically do that for the same over here. Now what I basically need to do is kind of figure out how it's going to activate. I don't think we're going to be able to use a piston because we've had to use two redstone like systems here, but I think I actually have an idea on how it could work. But for that, we are going to need to find an ancient city. Okay, I kind of want to be really careful here because I do not want to spawn the big guy. I hope this works, please. Okay, yeah, cool. This is what we need, a skulk sensor. Spoiler alert, this was all a complete waste of time. I basically just couldn't get it working with the shulker detector, so I ended up scrapping the whole thing altogether. So I just built a simple 2-block high piston door, which was activated by 2 pressure plates on the floor when walking over it. But yeah, if you think I'm doing the actual redstone with the eyes of this notch build and like the opening and closing of them, yeah, think twice because I ain't doing that. This alone just took me like 45 minutes to try and figure out altogether. So imagine how long it would take me to do the actual redstone for that. So now we moved on to the entrance of the temple, which was just a basic 5-block high opening with a gold square at the top. Yeah, they weren't really that creative back in the day with their maps, but this was peak, I promise you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna lie, I literally spent the last pretty much day, or not day, but like literally, no joke, 4-5 hours kind of getting it to this stage. Obviously, so we'll start over here. We can kind of get to see where like the path actually begins within the video. We're just gonna like kind of join these sections of the terrain to the terrain over here behind us, because again, there's not much reference here and I don't think it matters too much. What matters is the actual temple entrance itself. But the thing that's actually taken me so long, and you know I suck at redstone, and anyway, so this is what has taken me ages to do, but it's pretty much just this. So if we chuck down some steak in here, There you go. We have our main door actually finished. And as you can see, we actually managed to do it 5 blocks high. And the reason why it took so long is because, I mean, if we just come around to here, yeah, we got some crazy redstone happening. I mean, it's not even that crazy. I mean, this is pretty, but for me, it's pretty crazy because I'm pretty much out of my depth when it comes to redstone, especially with this. Don't think for a second that I actually came up with this method, because there's no way on God's green earth that I have the brain power for this. But luckily, actually, there was another video which kind of shows the behind the scenes of the making of the head over here. They show kind of like a schematic of this redstone bit for the doors here, so I was able to kind of half copy it, but when it got to like this stage, I kind of had to figure it out for myself. So it kind of got us like 70% of the way there, but then we had to kind of figure it out, how to connect everything and how everything worked. And it only showed us one side, so, but that wasn't too bad because we literally just had to duplicate it to the other side over there. I am actually pretty happy with it, so it's going to be as good as it gets, to be honest. You know, we still need to go and connect the cliff all the way around to here, and we also need to build the hanging cliff from the balcony as well. And then, yeah, we're going to basically add in a load more details as well to kind of just brighten this place up a bit. But yeah, for now, that's all, and yeah, let's get to it. We pretty much just spent the next couple of days finishing the landscape on the mountains and adding in some more texturing details, as the original version of this temple did look quite bland when building it. We also added in some cool lighting and other decorative features to finally finish the build. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the love and support from these videos. If you enjoyed this one and want to see more, feel free to hit subscribe and check out the channel. But for now, I'll see you all in the next one.